There. My name is Joe, and I'll be posting some videos on YouTube. Hopefully, get my message out to a lot of people out there that may have been going through some similar circumstances that I have regarding spirituality and belief in God, belief in don't want to say like supernatural, but certainly events in my life that I could definitely reflect on, that there is a higher presence there, and it's not just ordinary sort of things that were happening to me, but definitely what I've been going through with regarding to spirituality and prayer has been an ongoing thing since I was a teenager, young adult, but more or less a lot of it has meaningful presence to my state of spirit, to my state of soul, and as well to the state of I guess the universe, or in essence the state of the world. Give you one example was early on in my early childhood, born and raised in basically a Maronite Catholic family. My father is Lebanese. My mother is Lebanese background, but was born in the United States. She was working for many years in Detroit as a head nurse. And to make, I don't want to go through my childhood maybe right now, certain events. My mom passed away at an early age. She was 36. I was 10 at that time in 1993 in Lebanon. And definitely the series of events that occurred after in our life, me, my brother, and my sister, were very full of suffering and pain and agony, and poverty was a big one. Being raised in a third world country, my father is not educated per se. He owns his own business, but lack of experience was definitely there in raising a family. Anyways, when we came back to Canada in year 2000, and I can talk about one experience that definitely God woke me up to, and it's related to the presence of evil, presence of the devil. And I never believed in such a thing. Never believed in demons or devils. My understanding of religion and my understanding of the Bible was very limited. Limited just going to church on Sunday, on the holidays, on Christmas, Easter, going to Mass, and on a weekly basis, but I never had a strong root understanding of who Jesus was or what even the Bible is saying. And that's another sort of maybe topic I should go into with regard to how our children are being raised in Catholicism or in other religions, but more or less in our Catholic faith, Maronite Catholic, Eastern Rite. A lot of our children are not raised to even read the Bible, or even know who we're worshiping. If we're to be worshiping or believing in a God, we should at least know who that God is and what He's saying, and who He is, or not just that He is the light of the world and He's our Savior. Yes, Jesus is that, and Jesus is the light of the world. He redeems us. He has redeemed us from sin, and Jesus is our crux for salvation. But that's not all the story. We need to be able to understand who Jesus really was and is always going to be, from going back to the New Testament, going back to the Bible, and to the words of Christ and the works of the apostles. In my situation, I was about age 22, 23, and my background is chemistry and biology. I took my major in applied chemistry and biology at Ryerson University in Toronto from year 2002. I graduated in 2007. At that time, my faith in God was being sort of tested, because I was being faced with a lot of people that don't believe in God, or don't believe, or atheist, or secular, or very sort of unbelief, have no really belief in any like God or religion. So, and that bothered me, but it also woke me up, because I didn't know anything about my religion, to be honest. I didn't know who Jesus was truly, what our church is about, what our belief system is. And then I subscribed to a television program called Tele Lumiere. It's an Arabic-based, Lebanese-based religious programming. It's Catholic mainly, but there's other programs that are like from Eastern Orthodox or some Protestant programming as well, and but mainly it's rooted into the church. And one time there was a nun there, and she came up and she was talking about temptation, talking about sin, and then she talked about the devil. And I found it funny, because I was there watching. I started laughing at her without knowledge. I just started laughing and saying that how could this person still believe in the devil? And there is no devil. This is something that is old. This is old news. This is people in the medieval ages, or 300, 400, 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, used to believe in the devil. There's nothing called the devil. And I remember saying that, but in the back of my mind, I didn't know for sure. There was something playing in my conscience saying, what if she was right? Or sort of along the lines is, maybe she is right. Or how can I disprove her? Maybe that's a more correct way of speaking about that sort of event or experience. And not long after falling into those sort of deep sort of belief and prayer situations at school, noticing a lot of my professors were atheists, I was going to St. Michael, the Archangel Church in Toronto, before I used to go to class and after classes, and praying, going to the church and praying, contemplating Jesus, reading the Bible, started going to the Bible, started reading. And I realized that the Bible, the New Testament, what Jesus was speaking about was rooted in what the nun was speaking about and what the church speaks about, but more or less Jesus reveals the true battle of humanity. And the true battle of humanity is with or against the devil. And this is very clear in the Bible, in Matthew and in John and in Luke. All of the Gospels speak about the devil, but it's not just about the devil being there as a just like a symbolic scenario, but as an active role in the fall of man, in the fall of humanity, and constantly in control of the physical realm in terms of people, because God gave us dominion over the world. God gave us the power to, we are on top of everything else in this creation, in this world. God initially gave this world to humanity, and he was pleased with that until we sinned. So until Adam and Eve, that was the first sin. Now, I remember I had several events actually that happened after regarding experiences with this evil, or like this spiritual entity or negative spirit, or however you want to say it. I'm going to say it's the demon, because again, I was in that sort of boat of not believing in the demons or devils at all, or I never had any believe. I was making fun of that nun, like I was telling you, on the television. And God, very shortly after, He showed me that, hey, I have to watch out, because when I was praying, and I remember when I was in deep contemplation, going to Mass and reading the Bible, praying the Rosary, asking guidance and prayer from the Virgin Mary and the saints. Saint Charbel is a big saint in our country, in Lebanon. And I remember started getting some experiences without expecting them, sort of waking up in the middle of the night and seeing myself outside my body, which in itself is a very scary event, or very scary thing to experience, as someone who was like, okay, totally into science and books and reading and like science fiction and like everyday sort of 22-year-old guy sort of things. But I'm waking up in the middle of the night and I'm leaving, or partially leaving, my body, which freaked me out. But that was just a prelude to see what is the truth, and what is the truth out there. Not long after that, I started waking up and seeing something attacking me. It was, for sure, it wasn't a beast or an animal. It was not even like a physical. It wasn't something like a human or a physical realm. It was definitely a spiritual entity. It was short. It was dark, and it did have a structure. It did have small horns, but it was a cloud. It was not. It was like an energy. And this sort of cloud, or this energy, which had a structure, was not firm. Like, it was not a stable entity. It was always being changed. Like, it was always sort of in that fluctuation of instability. It wasn't something that was clear. Even the things that maybe were coming from its mouth and things that it was saying were not clear. The only time it became clear was when I focused. When I focused and it sort of concentrated on what this entity was trying to do or say, then I could understand exactly, word by word, what this object or this entity is saying and doing, and why. And that's going to follow, because many other experiences I've had afterwards relating to this, demons and devils, but more or less I started being able to discern when that demon or presence or sort of energy is present in my everyday life. So throughout, like, regular, whether my relationship in my family or at work, or with certain bad news happening, those same feelings of fear and anxiety, despair, suffering, crying and weeping. So I'm going to continue a little bit longer, because I don't want to make this video too long. But I'm talking from a point of view of someone that is born into sort of like Christianity and into the faith, but I really became baptized through this Holy Spirit afterwards, through really understanding what the Bible is about, who Jesus is, and what is the real state of humanity. It's not about, getting in your car and going to work every day and coming back home, making everyone happy, and no. And like achieving physical goals. Those are important. I'm not saying those are part of your sanctity, part of you becoming a member of God's kingdom, for you to live a holy life, to go to work, to be a good human being, to love one another, to care for the poor, to care for your family. Those are all what is expected from you as a human. But that's not the real story of life. The real story of life is to prepare yourself till your death, to prepare yourself to reach until that second level, to reach in that upper sort of mission, which is leaving this earth with a clear conscience, with a clear understanding that God is present, God's energy and love and compassion and his forgiveness is with you, and is with you for eternity. God is eternal, and the universe is eternal. So that experience with the demon or with devils, I have other experiences as well. Those have stopped in my life since I can be frank with you, since I got married. So again, but to be honest with you, my level of faith, my level of spirituality, my level of understanding is still strong, but not as strong as my praying life was obstructed. My praying life has been sort of damaged in a sense of not being as faithful to my religion or to Catholicism or Christianity as it was before. So automatically or slowly those events have unfolded in my life. They come only when I in deep contemplation of Jesus. They only come when I'm praying and I'm in a state of purity. And I can say, to be honest, right now I'm not in a really state of purity. I'm living a very sort of physical life, even at times atheistic life, and I'm suffering. I may be, normal composure now, but that sort of life away from God has really shown me that living with God is living with light. Living with God and with Christ is purity, is a sense of safety, is a sense of strength, is a sense of no fear and confidence. So just to say that, these experiences that I'm going to be talking about are real. You don't have to believe me or not. I know there's a lot of, the skeptic person out there who's not really sure about what we're talking about, or about people with religion or faith, what they're talking about. That's their whole right to be skeptical, because I don't expect anyone from seeing these videos to really believe that there is a God, or there is Jesus, or there is the angels, or there is hell or heaven. All I'm just saying is that I was curious. I had doubts in my faith and belief. I was away from my faith and belief. All I did is that I gave Jesus a chance in my life. That's all I did. Like everything else, if I gave it a chance, like I gave studying a chance, I gave work a chance, I gave going to the gym, I gave love and romance a chance. You give all those chances to things in life. Now that one little thing, that just to be sure, does it exist or not, and you're not giving it a chance? No, I gave Jesus a chance. And Jesus, from everything in this world that I've experienced, from all the relationships with my family and friends, with my coworkers and workers and employers, with everything I experience in my daily life, no one has disappointed me. I've disappointed myself, but no one has ever disappointed me except one person, and that was Jesus Christ. Jesus never disappointed me, not one time in my life. Every time I would question, every time I would ask, Jesus was there to answer. Christ never disappoints you. No matter how filthy you may feel, no matter how, away you're going to feel that you're from God, no matter where you are, even if you're the worst of the worst, even if you are the low of the low, no matter who you are, if you go to Jesus, Jesus will not disappoint you, and he will not shut his door on you. Jesus doesn't shut his door on anyone, and has never shut his door on anyone. Atheist or non-believer or murderer or a sexual abuser or rapist or anyone. Jesus has never shut his door on anyone. And the proof of that is that most of the saints, or a lot of the saints, have committed many acts of adultery, or many acts of incest, murder. Many of the Roman, you even look at the history, many of the Romans, commanders or army members of their army who killed Christians on a daily basis became saints of the church and martyrs of the church. So Jesus doesn't shut his door on anyone. We shut our door on Jesus, unfortunately. I gave Jesus a chance, and he really changed my life. I'm still very vibrant, chemist, biologist. I believe in finding the truth. I believe the truth can be found in the spiritual and physical world. And definitely out there, the only way for you to really find the truth is to open your heart and your mind to Christ. Give Jesus a chance. Give him a chance, and he will not disappoint you. We will disappoint ourselves. Jesus will not disappoint you. Jesus will always be by your side and guide you. Anyways, God bless you, and I'm going to be posting more videos about my spiritual experiences. The devil does exist, and the devil comes to attack you as a Christian, whether in the physical world or in the spiritual, praying, fasting sort of scenario. You're going to be attacked, and you just have to be strong and call on Christ. The strongest method, or the only way I could take away those evil entities from attacking me, was calling on to Christ and praying to the saints. And that's the only way that they can be controlled, and they can be they flee, or they are bondaged when you call on to Christ. So that's just one of the events. Take care, and hopefully be posting more videos soon. Bye bye.